Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to The Balance with Erika B, the podcast where we have honest conversations about healing, motherhood, identity, wellness, faith, relationship, entrepreneurship, and navigating life through every season. I'm your host, Erika B, and if this is your first time here, welcome. On this podcast, we don't just talk about highlight moments, we talk about when it really looks like to grow, to evolve, to rebuild, and to become the version of yourself you're still discovering. And if you have been here before, thank you for coming back. Thank you for growing with me. And thank you for allowing this space to evolve into something even deeper. Because here we're not chasing perfection, we're learning how to hold life with truth, grace, and intention. So we're going to get into it about today's episode because this one is a solo episode of me, your host, Erika B. And I just want to start with this episode by being really honest. Over the last several weeks, I have been in a little bit of a transition period where I have to switch over, which was formerly known as the Balanced Boss Mom podcast, which is now the Balance with Erika B. And in those moments where I've had in the last several weeks have become to where something had to push into a different shift. I wanted something to be elevated, something different, something new. So before explaining how we even got here, I want to let you know that this podcast is going to be something different, something new. It's something that is going to be a change of a season for me. And it's a becoming season for me. So this season is not easy for me to say that, the Boss Mom podcast is no longer. But I just want to come on here and be transparent and be intentional and let you guys understand why the things that have happened, what has been going on, and what am I doing to move forward, So there have been moments where I would want to sit down, record this episode, but I just felt really stuck. So I wrote down here on my phone how I felt because, like I said, every time I hit the record button, it felt like I was embarrassed. I didn't understand how to explain this rebrand. I didn't know. I just didn't know what to do in the last several months. Or several weeks, let me just say. And now with this rebrand, I want you to understand who Erika B is. So I had to give myself permission to take a pause, take a brief break, knowing that my guests are still going to be here no matter what, no matter the listeners. Listeners may come and go, but I wanted to set this as a platform for people to be safe and have a safe space and make it intentional, because sometimes when you're not intentional, God will put something to shift that intention to you. And I feel like this rebrand is something that is very intentional, very authentic, something new, something different. So I want to talk about rebranding because when people hear the word rebranding, it's not just a name change, it's an identity change. And I feel like for me, it was much deeper than that. It goes back into reflecting the identity work that I needed to reflect on in the last 7 weeks. It was about alignment for me. It was about learning to accept sometimes that it's okay to outgrow the version of an old podcast that I've built and what the new podcast is going to stand for. And I'm glad that this did happen to me, because it means that I was able to evolve this podcast, you know. Unfortunately, I know that I couldn't keep the name, which is crazy, and I ended up getting an email. So it became into like a legal matter. And with that legal matter, I didn't want everything taken from me. Although the name got taken from me, it felt like it was stripping the identity of me. So there were circumstances, transitions, decisions that led me to the place where I am now with the name. Um, it let me understand who I am now, what space I'm ready to hold with the podcast. I didn't want to rush the answer too much for everybody. I felt like I couldn't, because when you rush something that is very personable and that has that identity shift to you, I felt like it's not going to build, it's not going to last long. And I feel like with this new rebrand, with the balance with Erika B, nobody can take it from me at this point. It has my name in it. It still has the surface of motherhood around it. But now I can talk about the things that I want to talk about. I can bring the culture things into play. I can bring about just advocacy a little bit more. I can bring about men and women and what they go through. And I want to hold that safe space for men and women to come back and listen to this. So I had to literally sit down with my journal. My mom helped me as well. Mom, shout out to you. I appreciate you. I had to, like I said, I prayed through it. I had my journal. Um, I had a lot of questions about myself. Like I felt when this happened, I was on such a roller coaster because I felt like nobody would come back. And to hear that my listeners are coming back and they want to still continue to partner with me, I'm forever grateful for that. So I couldn't be more appreciative. Um, and I had to make sure everything made sense for me because I kept saying, well, maybe I can just use the balance mom or the balance whatever, but it just didn't click. It is something that just had to change, you know? And so I wrote this in retrospect about the journey, and this wasn't easy for me. There were days where I felt like I let a lot of you down. There was days that I questioned even if I wanted to come back to podcasting. There were days where I wondered if I should go back to what felt familiar about just talking about all things motherhood. And I didn't want to put that in a box. Um, I refused to put that in a box. But I had to go through the grieving process, which I know people are probably going to be like, why are you grieving over an old name? Screw you if you think that. But you have to understand when you manifest something from a vision board and you've been out for a year and things are going the way that you want, and then things are stripped from you, it's very unfortunate and it sucks. And it made a lot of things like people don't know. I had a year's worth of content. And now with the rebrand, I have to rebrand everything all over again. So it's frustrating. It really, really is frustrating. But with the frustration, um, helped me re-identify something that I can build furthermore. Um, and what I learned from all of this is that just because somebody has the name or has something different from you, it doesn't make you lose yourself in that transition. It's just meeting a deeper version. And I'm glad that this happened to me because it required me to have a release. It required me to have trust. It required me to let go. And it required me to understand, to feel like it's okay to feel the feelings of feeling embarrassed about the situation. Um, but I had to realize what was so much more important. Would I rather try to fight something in court and lose everything? or just rebrand the whole thing and hope for the best. And I think that's what I did. I rebrand everything, and I'm really hoping that you guys will follow the journey with me. Um, with the new podcast, I hope you guys understand why everything took place. And again, sometimes God doesn't remove things because they failed you. I feel when I was writing in my journal, he did this for a reason. I think he did this for me to understand, hey, Erika, you can't keep putting motherhood in a box. There's other people that are interested in your stuff too. And it made me think and ponder that shifting in this new direction means I'm just outgrowing another version of myself. It's kind of like having a snake, and the snake is shedding all that dead weight in the skin. I'm just shaking that skin off for the first time in a while. So I had to learn in this process to not only trust within myself, but trust within that rebranding is not the ending, it's just the beginning of something new. So I want to get into why I named the name the Balance Boss. The Balance with Erika B. It's no longer the Balance Boss Mom. So, um, because I wanted to hold such a delicate space for men and women, um, not just one version of that space, not just one conversation, not just one lane. I didn't want this podcast to continue to be a one-dimensional. And I'm sure you guys love the content that I have posted, but I think that I want to bring in I'm very excited about this. I want to bring more, like I said, the culture, and talk a little bit about celebrities into the podcast with people. Bring in sports. I'm a huge sports fan. Love football. Love basketball. I'm a huge Chicago Bears fan. Can't wait to talk about sports with men and invite the men into these conversations and have fun with that. Entrepreneurship still comes into play, getting business people to come onto my podcast, talk about the finances, financial literacy that we don't still know about that we can share, just different things. Motherhood is still into play. We could still talk about burning out. But this podcast is for everyone. I want it to be for entrepreneurial parents, for people that's building while healing. I want it for people raising families while rediscovering who they are, for people holding responsibility while still becoming themselves. Again, we're still talking about mental health, still talking about entrepreneurship, still talking about now elevating your relationships, your identity. I want to bring a little bit of faith involved into the situations. The emotional weight of just becoming. And because I chose the word balance, balance isn't perfect. Balance to me, and how I came with the name, is to learn how to hold your life with grace while still going through whatever that you may see fit, whatever you're going through. Going forward, I want this space to feel even more real, more honest, more grounded, more layered. And we're not just talking about being inspiration. We're talking about actually what it feels like to go through the process. We're not just sharing the victories anymore, the small wins. We're sharing about how we got to those victories. We're talking about being healed in real time. There's so much stuff that I'm healing with that I want to share with you guys. And whether it's sharing it solo or sharing it with a guest, it's healing for me. With that healing, we're about rebuilding in real time, showing up in real time, holding yourself accountability. You may not hold yourself accountability, but listening to a podcast may help you show up in that possibility. Because I think there's so much power in being authentic and being honest with yourself. it's okay to have that unfinished polish. It's okay to know that you're not alone in this situation. So if you're listening to this, I want you to know you don't have to be finished to be present. You don't have to be perfect either. With this rebrand, I feel like I want to show the good, the bad, the ugly. You see all things, and just how you see the good, you can see the ugly in things. And see if the ugliness in things really, really can bring out the beauty in all things. It really can. So to answer your questions, yes, I am in this rebrand phase. Yes, the podcast is called The Balance with Erika B. Yes, we're talking about all the nitty gritty, funny things, stupid shit. You're going to be welcome to my shit show, pretty much, because I'm tired of not really talking about the things that I want to talk about. And I'm tired of not being able to have things being boxed in. So the Balance Boss Mom was a great podcast. I'm still a mom. Just now you get a little more personable with Erika and who I am and the changes that are going to be made. And really, honestly, I am so blessed to go through this transition. Am I mad about the situation? Of course. Am I sad about the situation? Yes. More so embarrassed about the situation. But to those that are listening and that have been my followers, I really want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for giving me the advice that I needed. I want to thank all my guests that have came on to the formerly known podcast of the Balanced Boss Mom podcast. I hope you guys do take a chance on me and return back. I want people to understand that with this solo episode today, to remind you of anything, I just want to remind you that you have a voice, you do matter. Your concerns deserve to be heard. Advocating for yourself isn't a bad thing. It's it's really an act of self-respect. It's an act of continuing to advocate, whether you're navigating through loss, meaning chronic health conditions or challenges, infertility, grief, um, building healthy relationships, healing, simply learning how to retrust yourself. And with this rebrand, I'm learning how to retrust myself again and coming back to saying, hey, it's Erika. You only live once. And again, rebranding is not the ending, it's just the beginning. And I hope you don't have to carry it alone. This podcast is going to be something where it opens a safe space for everyone. Me, you, everyone. And you're not meant to hold everything in. I've learned that too with the past 7 weeks. I've learned that with this rebrand, I didn't have to hold everything in. And I finally let it out. So to the person that has emailed me in regards to this, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to rebrand it, because now people are welcome to my shit show, and now people are going to hear it for what it is, and it's just going to elevate even better. So it hasn't stopped me in my tracks. It's just a new beginning. If you like the solo episode today and want to share this conversation, go ahead and share it. You can leave me a review, positive reviews, what you want to hear from the podcast, how I can be an advocate and voice for you. You can subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. The episodes are still coming out as usual Fridays at 6:30 6:30 Central Standard Time. And with the old episodes, I'm still keeping the old episodes up for those that still want to hear those. We're just elevating to the new episodes. For the pre-recorded episodes, I am going to be redoing the intro and the outro of each episode, and I'm going to try to start rolling those pre-recorded episodes out again as quickly as I can. But I just, you guys, I can't thank you enough. I'm blessed to even have a platform. I'm still excited to see where this new podcast is going to lead to me. And yeah, I hope you guys are ready for the shit show that I'm going to bring, because this isn't it. We're not done. And balance isn't perfection. As a reminder, balance is about learning how to care for yourself. And while navigating life as it comes, like I said, I'm Erika B, and this is The Balance with Erika B. Until next time, give yourself some grace, love on yourself, protect your peace, and keep finding your balance. Hope you guys like this solo episode, and can't wait to hear your feedback. So go ahead and leave that review. Bye, guys.